And then now we invite Marco Contini, as there is another aspect of publication and of dissemination, and it very much relates with how we could narrate the story of this project, of the whole project. How could we connect also with other publications and with what everything was done. And I think meeting with Marco and with Kappabit, he's a publishing house, he is director of. It was really an encounter that went beyond an encounter with a publisher, because his approach and his techniques of QR books and of the way of connecting digital with analog is very special. He will tell it about it, everything. And it involved the work of Veronica di Geronimo. You heard about her before. She interviewed Maestro Alfredo Pirri. And we try to connect all the projectualities that are inside the project in a system that Marco is going to explain us. And then Veronica will tell us more about the content and how we chose content and how we chose to, what was good to have it like as an external content online and what was to be going printed on paper. So we thank you so much, Marco, for being here, and he will tell us about his QR code, QR book system.
Thank you so much, Elena. And firstly, I would like to thank everybody to invite us to participate to this project, in particular the Rome Academy of Fine Arts. And I'm really happy to be involved in this work, and because it is perfect to represent what we try to do in our publishing activity. We are doing this work since a couple of years, several years now, and I don't know if we can put some example just to understand what I'm talking about. I'm not going to talk so much about contents because that's not my role, it's not what I expected to do. I'm going to talk mostly about the container that is this publication. And Elena correctly called it a QR book because actually it's not strictly a book as we consider it normally. We found this name because, as you can see, these are some examples of other publications that we released in the last years. And we decided to call it QR book because, as you can see, it is full of QR codes. And this is, of course, is not a thing that we invented. The QR code is a quite old technology. It's been used since almost 30 years. And of course, we are not the first ones that think to embed some QR codes into a book, of course. But there are several aspects that characterize our work. In particular, there are two aspects. One is about quantity, because we use generally a huge number of QR codes in one single publication, in the average 100 or 200 in one single book. And the main characteristics that about this format, this technology that we use, because QR book is about quality. Because we thought that, first of all, why we do so? The first need that took us to start this experiment, because in the beginning it was mainly an experiment. Now it's something that we usually tested and is in production. But when we started as a research work, we started from the need of the reader to use some features that was typical of the online experience, because now we all have the habit to follow a link, and we have the habit to think in an hypertextual mode. So that's the reason why, since we wanted to keep the experience related to read a paper book, we finally call it hypertext, paper hypertext. Because the reading mode is the same, because you are reading the text and you can jump into external contents that mainly are audiovisual, but there can be also a link, a paper to download, an audio file. We did this in several fields, and we experimented it in several fields. And the main, I was talking about the qualitative character, and the quality is about quantity. We are over. You can see about quantity. I think is pretty clear. But about quality, the characteristics that we can update these links, because what happens generally when you use something related to the web into a book, it doesn't matter if it is a QR code or even if it is simply a URL you can have in a footnote. Always happens, I'm sure that you have experience about that, always happens that after a couple of months, this content is not available, that they can be not working, because it is normal, because the web is always in evolution. And so we thought that we needed to find a way to update these links. This is something that we fix quite rapidly, because one important thing that you probably should know, that our company began its activity as an ICT company before to start on the publishing activity. So how we can manage this? We simply, we have got a platform that substantially is based on a huge database that we feed and we manage, containing all the sources. So the QR codes that we use into our publications are not generated by the original sources, but are are created by some particular URLs that we generate that substantially add the function to redirect the content into our database. So in this way, if the original source is not available yet, we can change this destination, and we can update the destination even after the book has been printed. So that introduces another important concept about our books, that we make books that needs a maintenance, and it's a quite new concept about a book, because we're not talking also only about the maintenance of the paper book, of course that is normal, but we need to maintain the links active. So we have periodically to check the contents, and we have to edit the references when some of them are not working anymore. So that theoretically produce a result, as I think is an important result, that changes the book's nature as we know it, and it becomes not more only a product, but is also considerable as a service. So this is why we talk about a BaaS, I mean a book as a service, because this is something that is fundamental for our books, because our books are constituted, are formed by, of course, text, important part of text, but also by these external contents. And when the authors write their text, start from the consideration and that this text will be connected to other contents that is not possible to reproduce on paper, a video file, for instance, or an audio file. And so if they stop working, the books is risk to be not usable as it's been created. So this is why we periodically need to check every single URL contained into these books, and if some of them are not working anymore, we have to edit the references to put some working ones. So this is the other main aspect. About this publication in particular, we are not showing the final result because the work is in progress, and then you will know from the other speeches about the contents. But the important thing is that we are talking about a process more than like a product. This is something that we consider very important, because the product is only one of the results of the process, but the focus in this case in particular in all our activities is represented by the process. And in this sense, I think that we can consider the publication, the QR book in this case, as a tool, a fundamental tool for it, but mainly a tool. This is not the aim of the work, but this is something that consents to the work to be usable, to be knowable. So, Elena.
Thank you so much. First of all, it's incredible because it's also for the publisher, it's a work that never ends, no? It exponentially multiplied, you're always involved. And I recall also what Adam, Lester, and Edina, and Danny said about design and about visuals, that it's not just an aesthetic tool, but it's something that really complements the narrative, and it's a very difficult choice, or a very significant choice. And I think we can ask Veronica also, we can show like how we have been working like on choosing the material. Of course, it was also, this project was a collaborative project among all the academies, because everybody was asked to provide with the content, which is content related to the project, but also content that relates to the institutions and entities, individual and institutional entities that were quoted or involved in, which means to expand the geography of what is inside. It's like this was in the intent of disseminating. We invite Veronica. Veronica is a junior scientist of EU4ART differences. She worked in the different packages. She worked greatly along through all the project, and we are very sorry she cannot be with us, but she will be with us remotely, and she can better explain about the content of this publication, hoping that is another approach and method of dissemination that little by little unveils also what was done during these years, because much of the content relates to the projects that were developed in this year. Can we hear Veronica? I think.
Thank you,
Veronica,
Elena.
welcome.
It's great to see you. Thank you, Elena, and thank you, Marco, for giving us the introduction of the technology behind the publication we are working on. It is my pleasure to present the content of the books that mirrors the milestone and event organized by EU4ART Differences project. The book was conceived as an elastic body. That's the image we pictured in our mind since the beginning. Our aim was to contain both past and future events, but actually future events is, in our mind, was the A.Re Days we are experiencing right now. It was conceived as an active device and born thanks to Professor Giulia Rossi idea to document and disseminate the project from the beginning. As already mentioned, it was possible thanks to the support and colleagues and collaboration among all VP teams and partners of the Alliance. Basically, it covers all the events carried out by EU4ART Differences Alliance, and it highlights the establishment of interdisciplinary labs, the use of multimedia platform, such as the research catalog, and the new ecosystem that paved the way to the future learning and research. All these topics are unified and intertwined with the common thread of the artistic research. And working on the publication, I would say that probably one of the most difficult challenges we had to face was to find a balance between the dissemination purpose, because we are working for the dissemination of our package, and also the curatorial aspect of the book. So that was a kind of border we have to mind the gap. The narrative begins in September of 2022 with the summer school. That was a very pivotal event in our project, because the members of the Alliance met in person for the first time after the pandemic. And the story moves around the events before and after and concludes with the A.Re Days, as I was mentioning, exactly one year later of the summer school. In this slide, you can see the main context constructed in three chapters. The first chapter dedicated to the summer school was actually an academic endeavor, but also an opportunity to get to know each other in that occasion. And we made a lot of work trying to figure out how it was possible to maintain the main aspect, the main topic of the summer school, that was the digital rise and embodied memories. But actually it was not so difficult. And somehow it's very poetic that it's the first chapter of the A.Re book that leads to the reader to explore different spaces and dimensions, focus on the rise of memory and the digital and physical space. We reconstruct the daily program, and we share the daily program with the research catalog. What I would like to highlight is that we use the research catalog as both source for external references and a showcase for what the project organized. In this case, we can see our project portal on the research catalog that was included in the publication and led us to reach the portal website and also the project around the different initiatives that we organize. So it is reachable by the research catalog and also by the EU4ART website, EU4ART Differences website. We also use the YouTube channel that EU4ART Differences build up to upload, to include other visual and sonic materials. And it was possible thanks to the documentation phase that was crucial during those days. And then moving to the chapter 2, the second chapter, as mentioned before, tackled the ecosystem that the project developed during the 3 years. From COVID, we will hear more about this during the next days, and the Artistic Research Lab that was presented by Adam and the Budapest team. From the premises that we sought to bridge the gap between theory and practice in the field of the artistic research, we moved to including several materials, also the PDF, the publication that were being presented in several occasions during the project. And concerning Kobe, the search engine and the pedagogical tool that was initiated by Professor Franco Ripa di Meana in collaboration with Massimo Giretti and Matteo Zabelli and the junior scientist Andrea Guidi. In the chapter, we narrate the genesis from the etymological choose of the name to the last feature with generative intelligence and the integration of virtual reality, HoloLens tools, and so on. And in this case, we included the conference paper, the proceeding of the conference that was presented at Celda in Florence, and although in other important venues. And then a very hot topic of the whole project, the research lab. I think that all EU4ART differences revolve around the core question of understanding and the significance of research in the art field and how to experiment with that. We foster the advancement of the knowledge. This led to the establishment of the Artistic Research Lab and also building a structure to make them visible through the time during the project. And beyond the YouTube channel was also used the website page to make them visible. So it means that from the chapter, it is through the QR codes, we can reach each lab from each partner of the Alliance, Budapest, Riga, Dresden, and Rome, and navigate through them according to the flux of the web. And then we also include a focus, of course, in the Rome laboratory, A.Re Transdisciplinary Research Lab, that stemmed from the partnership with the institution in the National Institute for Nuclear Physics, that gave us the opportunity to include some external material from the official website of Chair of Geneva and their experiment they are working on particle physics. We also include the website of the art residency program, Art 10, and other supplementary sources that have been considered additional material for readers to delve into the chapter and make it more available, more sources available. Moving to the third chapter, was probably the most difficult to write, since it is dedicated to artistic research and the third cycle studies in the art. As already mentioned, it was a very crucial aspect for all the members of the Alliance, and for this reason, an overview of the international discussion on artistic research has been to the attention of the reader, with primary sources linked from the web. This means that the chapter lived through, it is possible to reconstruct the academic debate. And we reported, of course, the Frascati Manual, the revisioned version proposed by the Society for Artistic Research, and the Vienna Declaration, as they have been inserted or a crucial document. And also other QR codes direct or to other articles of scholars that are involved in such debate. Although the research catalog is a source that we use during the whole book, in the last part of the publication, it is spotlighted for the play each role in our project. This means that this means that during the year, the theoretical and practical workshops that were organized during the year have been brought to the attention of the reader, and also the other initiatives that involve the research catalog as important tool for research and publication. Indeed, the Alliance uses it for sharing and publishing official programs, and web also includes other exposition that will be published on the next week and months. Then the narration goes toward the conclusion with the presentation of the A.Re Days. Since at the time of our writing, it was still a future event, but I would say that thanks to the technology that Marco Contini presents to us, the blank page we left to fill with the QR code will be reconstructed this day at our academy. To conclude my presentation, I would like to express my deep gratitude to Marco Contini from Kappabit and all partners that actively join this project, gathering material and helping us through the writing process. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Veronica. Thank you. As anticipated to you, what you will find in these days and what have been done during the project is now unveiled also through this project, and projects like Kobe, you will find them like, you can also experiment them like on Saturday night in a lesson for the future. And Marco, thank you so much, and thank you so much. And I don't know if we want to do a little pause or a little break, 10 minutes break, and then we invite Ripa Smith. And this is another, I think it's very important that within a morning where we discuss dissemination, it will be now talking an artist, Ripa Smith, who is a pioneer and who will talk about a work and the way also of disseminating ecological aspects of life through art. So it's another perspective.
Thanks for this question. As something that I didn't speak before about. Yes, of course, we consider these QR codes not only as for their function, but also they have got an aesthetical purpose. And consider that the very first book that we produced in this way didn't contain any images, but all the graphical aspect was represented by the QR codes. Of course, now we got some more powerful means to customize the shape and the color of these codes. So we also are working on this side with the curators of the book, of course, and we are going to embed these QR codes, also considering the aesthetical consistency with the location. So it is very important. It's something that I didn't talk about before, and thank you for this question.